Hello, mighty companion. This is Earl Purdy, and I want to welcome you to Facebook Live. I want to welcome you to Hardcore Course in Miracles, and we are going to be talking about what A Course in Miracles talks about, and completing the part that we've been doing, focusing on plans. What are plans? What are the best plans? How do you do plans? How can you make sure that you're following the divine plan or the right plan for you, according to A Course in Miracles? We are going to talk about that. We are going to do that. But we're going to start out getting centered, kind of letting go of whatever it is in the world that we've been focusing in, Almighty Companion. And we're going to start out with a little song from John Christmas that's coming from A Course in Miracles called Teach Only Love at John Christmas at johnchristmas.com. Here we go. Take a breath, allow yourself to get centered. Allow yourself to get centered. Allow yourself to get centered.
Teach only love. That is what you are. Only love. Yes, that is what you are. Teach only love. That is what you are. Teach only love. Everywhere you go, teach only love. To everyone you know, teach only love. Love is what you are. Hey, yeah. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Teach only love. Each and every day, teach only love. In a special way, teach only love. Love is what you are.
Hey, mighty companions, we got to teach only love. And there's a divine plan for your life. You weren't just dropped in the world without a plan and without guidance. And we've been talking about that. And we've been in a section of A Course in Miracles called, in the workbook, it's workbook lesson 135. If I defend myself, I am attacked. And we are going to be on paragraph 21, and that's on page 255 in the Course in Miracles workbook, the blue book, on page 255. And we're going to start out with paragraph 21. But I also want to do a quick review to allow us to get focused in on where we are now. Remember only this. You need not believe the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You need not even welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas you're going to find hard to believe. Some of the things from A Course in Miracles you're going to resist. You might resist. Some of the things in A Course in Miracles you might find hard to believe. Some of the things in A Course in Miracles might startle you. You're not being asked to judge and analyze the ideas. You're not being asked to judge and analyze the ideas at all. It's their use that will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. So what is it? The use of the ideas will show you that the ideas are true. I don't analyze the Course in Miracles. I've been doing the Course in Miracles and teaching it and sharing it for over 40 years. And the Course in Miracles says don't analyze the ideas. You need to use the ideas. And you can only use ideas that you actually hear, that you actually apply to your way of thinking. So You're not being asked to judge the ideas. It's the use of the ideas that will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. Using the ideas will show you that the ideas are true. So we're going to be, again, lesson 135 on page 255 in A Course in Miracles, and we're going to be in paragraph 21. But one thing I want to share that the Course in Miracles says that it's really a powerful, powerful statement. It says in paragraph 11 that a healed mind doesn't plan. What? Yeah, a healed mind doesn't plan. A healed mind carries out the plans that it receives through listening to wisdom that's not its own. A healed mind waits until it has been taught what should be done, and then a healed mind proceeds to do what it's been taught that it needs to be done. So a healed mind, when you have a healed mind, what's going to happen? When you have a healed mind, then a healed mind doesn't depend upon itself for anything except its adequacy to fulfill the plans assigned to it. So when your mind is healed, you won't be dependent on yourself for anything except that, you know, if you get a divine plan that comes from God, that plan will be a plan that you will be adequate to fulfill that plan. And you won't have any obstacles that will impede your progress to the accomplishment of any goal that serves the greater plan established for the good of everyone. So how can you tell the difference between a plan that you're making up for your happiness and peace and a plan that's coming from the divine? Well, if it's a plan coming from the divine, you'll be adequate to do the plan. You won't have obstacles that will be impeding your progress. And it will be a plan that also benefits other people as well as you. So an unselfish plan, a plan that's coming from the divine, will be a plan that you won't have any obstacles fulfilling, that you won't have obstacles that impede your progress, and you'll be adequate to do it. You'll be able to do it. See, I love the Course in Miracles because it makes so much sense. It's so reasonable. It makes sense. So where we're starting out again, we're starting out on paragraph 21 on page 255 in the Course in Miracles workbook. So let's get started. Now, we're going to anticipate, it says we're going to anticipate that time today that we allow ourselves to receive the plan. It says in paragraph 21, we will anticipate that time today with present confidence, for this is part of what was planned for us. We will be sure that everything we need is given us for our accomplishment of the plan. So something else that you're going to realize when you're following a divine plan is that you'll be given everything you need. When you're following the divine plan, when you're following the universal plan, do you know, when you're following the right plan, when you're following God's plan, you will be given everything you need for the accomplishment of this. So what does that mean? It means that we will make no plans for what will be done. So if you're not going to make any personal ego plans for what should be done, what is it that you need to realize? Well, you need to realize that our defenselessness, our willingness to let go of our plan is all that's required for the truth to dawn upon our minds with certainty. So when it says let go of our plan, I'm going to review what that means. When the Course in Miracles says defenselessness, it's talking about our plan. It says earlier in this lesson that it says earlier in these workbook lessons that we basically believe that God is not going to take care of us, so we have to make up plans to take care of ourselves. The Course in Miracles teaches when you don't believe in your connection, or you're not aware of your connection with Source, so when you're not aware of your connection with the divine, then that person has a very frightened mind. that believes that it's not going to be taken care of unless it takes care of itself. So then we make plans, but we make those plans based on our past experiences. And Course in Miracles says a lot of those experiences, if not all of those experiences, were not based on the truth. And therefore, we're going to make a plan based on what happened in the past. And if you make a plan based on everything that happened in the past, it says you're just going to recreate the past in the future. And you're basically going to get the same result, which is a lack of peace. Do you know that the Course in Miracles also says that one of the plans that we have is to try to change everything and everybody outside of ourselves, and to feel like if we could change everything and everybody outside of ourselves, then we will be happy. So our plan is that basically the Course in Miracles says our plan is if someone spoke or acted differently, if we were in a different situation or circumstance, then we'd be healed. Then we would be happy. If I could get my partner to change, if I could get my children to change, if I could get my friends to change, if I could get my coworkers to change, if I can get my boss to change, if I would have another house, if I'd have another car, if I have another apartment, if I lived in another place. The Course in Miracles says our plan is basically, if this were different, I would be happy. So we are using our mind, instead of using our mind to change our own mind so that we can be happy. The Course says we use our mind. Our plan is to use our mind to come up with how everybody else needs to change. So when the Course in Miracles talks about our plan, it's not talking about your plan to own your own business, or your plan to be a stay-at-home mom, or your plan to travel around the world. It's not talking about those kind of plans, because all of those plans are neutral. Depending on your attitude, depending on your psychological and mental and spiritual state, you either are going to have happiness when you get that new job, or you're going to give yourself unhappiness when you get that new job. But the new job in and of itself is not going to make you happy. It's going to be the way you see the new job, right? The meaning that you give to the new job is going to determine how you feel. So when the Course talks about our plan, I'll say it again, it's talking about the plan that many people have, that they've got to change everything but themselves in order for them to feel happy and to feel satisfied. So when you're told to be defenseless, it's saying to you, I want you to be willing to let go of your plan, which is to try to change everything and everybody else outside you in some kind of way before you could be happy. And I want you to use God's plan, which is to allow yourself to receive a plan and then carry out the plan that you receive from your higher self, from the divine. So how would you carry out and receive the plan from your higher self, from the divine? Well, if you are a Course in Miracles student, then you would use the teachings of the Course in Miracles to teach you how to remove the blocks to hearing and recognizing the guidance that comes to you from the Holy Spirit, from your loving right mind. So I'll say this one more time until the next time I say it, which is, you've got to give your spiritual path some consistent attention and study. If your spiritual path is a Course in Miracles, that means that you would give some attention and study to the text. You would do the exercises in the workbook, which is also part of A Course in Miracles, and then you would do the manual for teachers. So in order to learn how to let go of the blocks to your happiness, then it takes attention and study on your part. in order to get rid of the blocks to being able to recognize and hear the divine plan, which the Course says will give you a perception of life that is full of joy and no sorrow. And when you're following the divine plan, it says that your joy will increase and increase and increase and increase and increase, because God's will for you is perfect happiness. Do you know, are you aware that there is no punishing God? There is no punishing God. There is only a loving creator, an unconditionally loving creator. That the Course in Miracles says that we have lost our ability to communicate with because of the wrong perceptions that we have of spirit, and because of our own sense of separation, anger, and guilt. Those block you being able to hear the still small voice that's speaking inside of you, that's guiding you. What I love about the Course in Miracles is that it taught me how to tell the difference between when I'm listening to the right voice and when I'm listening to the wrong voice, so that you will eventually be able to tell when you're listening to the voice that's coming from the divine and when you're listening to the voice that you are making up, that's coming from the programming that you learned from the world. And when you learn how to tell the difference between the two voices, then you will be able to recognize the voice of spirit that's within yourself. You'll be able to recognize the voice that's talking to you. So the Course in Miracles teaches you how to remove the blocks to the awareness of love and God and truth inside of you. Okay, so now we're going to start where we left off last week, and I like to work out of the book, even though I've been doing this 43 years, because a good teacher tries to make themselves eventually unnecessary. So my job is to make myself eventually unnecessary. That's not saying you might not continue to listen to my tapes and classes and videos in order to get reinforcement. But I work out of the book because everybody has access to the book all the time. You might not have access to me all the time. So it's not really about me. It's about me being a messenger. But ultimately, it's going to be your own personal study and attention that's going to allow you to make that connection to your own Holy Spirit higher self. So the Course says in paragraph 21, we will anticipate the time today with present confidence, for this is part of what was planned for us. We will be sure that everything we need is given us. Now, it says, the Course in Miracles says many times, read me slowly, do me slowly. So I'll say it again. Everything you need is going to be given you to accomplish this today. We make no plans for how it will be done. So what do? Well, he says, but we realize that our defenselessness, our not using our plan of everything has to be different outside of myself in order for me to be happy, is all that's required. For what? All that's required for the truth to dawn upon your mind with certainty. So one of the ways that you can be certain of the truth is for you to realize that your happiness is not going to come from believing that everything has to be different outside of you in order for you to be happy. For 15 minutes twice today, did it say 15 minutes? Yeah, just 15 minutes, 2 times today, we rest from senseless planning. So for just 30 minutes, could you stop coming up with all of your different plans that you think you need to make in order for you to be happy? For 30 minutes, could you let go of your, what the Course in Miracles calls, senseless planning? And can you rest from every thought that blocks the truth from entering our minds? So what are the thoughts that block the truth from entering our minds. The thought that we are separate from each other, and the thought that we are separate, and the thought that we're separate from God. Fear thoughts, thoughts of fear, thoughts of anger, thoughts of guilt, thoughts of lack, thoughts of limitation. These are all thoughts that block the truth from entering our minds. Today, what will we do? Well, and I want you to follow along if you got the book and you can do it, because I really want to be helpful to those who are studying the course, who are really focusing in on the material. And it says, today we will receive instead of plan. So instead of putting my focus on planning, the Course in Miracles says what I would want to do is put my focus on receiving the plan. Now, we're receiving the plan. You're receiving the plan right now. The workbook lesson itself is telling you what to do. When you're told 15 minutes twice a day, we rest from senseless planning. Okay, that is you receiving a plan from Spirit. That wasn't something you made up. Then it says we're going to rest from every thought that blocks the truth from entering our mind. Okay, you resting from every thought that blocks the truth in the plan from entering your mind. That's you receiving the plan. So what is it we're going to do right now? We are going to focus on receiving our guidance instead of coming up with our personal plan, so that we can give, and I want to be a means of giving you peace, giving you love, giving you this information. So today we will receive instead of plan, that we may give peace, give love, instead of organizing. So is that saying that the Course is saying that for at least 30 minutes a day, do not focus on organizing. Focus on receiving and giving, receiving the plan. So when the Course in Miracles says a healed mind does not plan, it's not saying that you won't be given a plan that you will be carrying out. And to someone that's looking at you, it will look like you are planning because you will be doing certain things that you're being told to do, but you're really carrying out the instructions that you're getting from the Holy Spirit. Do you know that the Holy Spirit is the voice for God, the voice for truth, the voice for the divine that is inside your mind, that is inside of you? And when I say inside of you, I'm not talking about inside your body. I'm not talking about inside your brain. When I say inside of you, I'm talking about the Holy Spirit is inside of your mind. The Holy Spirit is inside of your heart, your consciousness, your being. And your being is greater than the body. You are not your body. You have a body. And the purpose of that body is for you to use that body to join and to connect in love and in truth. So, and we are given truly. So would you like to be given truly? Well, it says right here, we are given truly as we say. If I defend myself, I am attacked. But in defenselessness, I will be strong. And I will learn what my defenses hide. Let's say it another way. If I think that I am threatened, then I am attacked. But in defenselessness, recognizing my connection to God, my connection to love, I will be strong. And I will learn what my defenses hide. I would invite you not to analyze what I just said. One of the things that I have noticed in working with the Course in Miracles for so long is that it's like when you say whatever it is that the Course in Miracles tells you to say, that Spirit giving you instructions. Your willingness to say it, even if you don't necessarily understand it, would be an example of you being willing to follow the guidance that you're being given. It's the Holy Spirit, it's the divine that's going to take care of you and guide you. It's the divine God, Spirit, that is going to give you everything that you need. The Course in Miracles is a difference between you studying so that you can just try to take care of yourself on your own, and you allowing yourself through A Course in Miracles or any truth teaching allows you to allow the universe or spirit, the divine, to give you what you need and to take care of you. So the way that you're really safe in the world is through your connection to Source. It's through your connection to the Holy Spirit, your connection to the higher power, your connection to God. And that's what the Course in Miracles is about, teaching you how to have peace of mind. Because when you have peace of mind, you can hear the Holy Spirit's voice. You can hear the voice of truth inside yourself when you are peaceful. Do you know that the Course in Miracles teaches that when you're in conflict and fear, you cannot hear your guidance? When you're in conflict and fear, you cannot hear when you are in conflict and fear. You don't hear the voice of love. You hear the voice of your ego, the voice of fear and anger and separation and rejection. When you're most upset is when you're the most wrong-minded, and it's when you are most listening to the wrong voice. There's no such thing, according to the Course, there's no such thing as I am listening to the correct guidance and the right voice, and I'm all angry and upset, and I'm attacking. Okay? It's no. If you're angry and upset and you are attacking, you are in your ego. You are wrong-minded. You are not listening to the voice of truth and love. You don't have to believe that. You don't have to accept that. You don't have to welcome that. But I'm just sharing with you what the Course in Miracles teaches, because you need to be able to tell the difference between when you're thinking something that's getting ready to probably hurt you and when you're thinking something or hearing a voice that's going to give you peace and joy and harmony. So the Course in Miracles says, I want you to say, if I defend myself, I am attacked. In my defenselessness, I will be strong, and I will learn what my plans, my defenses hide. Nothing but that. What did it say? Nothing but that. Nothing but what? Spirit is saying to you, I want you to learn this. I want you to say, if I defend myself, I'm attacked. But in defenselessness, I will be strong. And I will learn what my defenses hide. If I defend myself, I am attacked. But in defenselessness, I will be strong. And I will learn what my defenses hide. If you were to memorize that, and if you were to say that consistently, you would receive the divine plan at the level you would be able to use it, because you are receiving the divine plan right now. What do I mean by that? You are being told to tell yourself, if I defend myself, I am attacked. But in defenselessness, I will be strong. And I will learn what my defenses hide. That's part of the instruction. Because remember that it said earlier that a healed mind carries out a plan that it receives through listening to wisdom greater than its own, and that you would be adequate to fulfill that plan, and there would not be any obstacles to you doing the plan, okay? So you just received a part of the plan. A part of the plan was for you to say, if I defend myself, I am attacked. But in defenselessness, I will be strong. And I will learn what my defenses hide. Okay, that's something that you're adequate to do, right? You could say that. Are there any obstacles that's impeding you from saying this, whether you believe it or not? No. You know right now, if you wanted to, you could say this. So there are no obstacles impeding you. So this is something that you're adequate to do. You really don't have any obstacles stopping you from just saying that. And you not defending and you not trying to change everybody around you in order to make you happy, that's a plan that benefits everybody, because you'll be a much more pleasant person to be around and not such a controlling person to be around. One of the things that the Course in Miracles says is that a fearful person is a person who's going to try to control everything and everybody around them. Now, why would a fearful person want to control everything and everybody around them? A fearful person would want to control everything and everybody around them because they are afraid. And when a person is afraid, they think if they can control everything, that's the way that you protect yourself. If you can control how other people behave, then you will be safe. So the more frightened a person is and the more insecure a person is, the more they're going to try to control and manipulate everyone around them so that they can feel safe. A person who is not afraid, a person who knows they're going to receive from spirit and that they are going to be sustained by spirit and they're going to be protected by spirit, then they are not busy trying to plan how they can change everybody around them. They're busy trying to focus on how they can change their own mind and how they can see things another way, because a loving being, a conscious being, knows that their physical world is a reflection of their own thinking and their own thoughts. So they know that the most important thing they could do is to change their fearful, angry, separation thoughts to thoughts of love and unity and oneness. And you want to get rid of everything in your own mind that keeps you from being sane and keeps you from being loving. When I talk and when I teach you, I'm using my awareness of the entire 3 books of the Course in Miracles, and I'm bringing that into our gathering. So the Course says nothing but that, nothing but this prayer. So what's going to happen next? Well, what's in the next line? It says, if there are plans to make, if there are plans for you to make after you said the prayer, if there are plans for you to make, you will be told of them, the plans you need to make. If there are plans for you to make, you're going to be told what those plans are. They may not be the plans you thought were needed. They may not be the answers to the problems that you think confront you. The plans will be answers to another kind of question, which is, who are you? Where do you go for protection? That's the real question. Where do you really go for protection? Who do you really go to for protection? All your defenses, all your plans have been aimed at not receiving what you are receiving right now. All your programming, all your conditioning has been aimed at not receiving what you are receiving right now. And in the light and joy that comes from simple trust, when you start to experience what? When you start to experience the joy that comes from simply trusting in all that is, in spirit, in the truth. When you really learn how to live by trust, when you learn how to get all the blocks out of the way that keeps you from living by trust and guidance and faith, you will wonder why you ever thought you needed to be defended from release. Heaven, what is it that heaven or truth or God or love, which are all the same, what is it that they ask from you? What does love ask from you? Love and truth doesn't ask anything of you. It asks nothing. But it's hell, it's fear, it's separation that makes extravagant demands for sacrifice. Someone that is full of fear and anger and grievances and insecurities. These are the minds that make demand that everybody around them sacrifice for them. So a mind that is not a truly loving mind is a mind that is always asking other people to make sacrifices for them. And the Course says it is hell. The Course in Miracles teaches hell is not a place. Hell is fear. You're in hell if you are afraid all the time. You're in hell if you're worried about how you're going to be taken care of all the time. You're in hell if you think that you have to defend yourself against everything and everybody that might hurt you in some kind of way. So hell is just fear. And when a person is in fear and they've forgotten the truth, they want everybody to give to them. They want to get. They're trying to get. They only give to get because they are afraid. So you don't really give up anything. You're not really sacrificing anything. When you take these times today, when undefended, what are you going to do? You are going to present yourself. Who are you going to present yourself to? You are presenting yourself to your Creator. In doing this exercise and in doing these lessons and in saying this prayer, you're presenting yourself to your Creator as you really are. And you really are as love created you. You really are as God created you. And God created you innocent. God created you powerful. God created you responsible. God created you as a creator. God created you as everything. That's how you have everything. So right now you're presenting yourself to love, your Creator, just as you really are. Now your Creator has remembered you. How do you know that God has remembered you? How do you know that the universe, the divine, has remembered you? These workbook lessons came from your Creator. The Course in Miracles came from your Creator at your request. The truth can come through many different ways other than A Course in Miracles. But for some of us, the Course in Miracles is the primary way that we've learned to communicate with the Holy Spirit, God. So yes, God has remembered you. Yes, Spirit has remembered you. Because if Spirit had not remembered you, you wouldn't be receiving the teachings and the guidance and even this class that you're listening to right now. So your Creator has remembered you. Today, what are you doing? Today, you are remembering your Creator. Right now, you are remembering God. Right now, you are remembering the truth. Isn't that great? So that means if you're remembering God, if it means you're remembering truth, if you're coming back into the realization of yourself as a spiritual being, that is your resurrection. And the next line says, "For this is Easter time in your salvation." This is Easter time. I didn't plan to be doing this right at Easter, but I think it's interesting that the next line in the book says, "This is Easter time in your salvation. Wow, this is Easter time. So what does that mean? It means that it's time for you to rise again. Rise again from what was seeming death and hopelessness. So is there some area of your life you have been experiencing some form of feeling hopeless in? Is there some area of your life that you feel hopeless in? I'm the divine repetition teacher. I purposely repeat over and over and over again because A Course in Miracles constantly teaches during the workbook lessons that you should repeat over and over. It says that I don't know how many times in the book. Repeat this, repeat this, repeat this as frequently as possible. Repeat this as frequently as possible. But what is it that many people end up doing? Analyzing it, analyzing it, analyzing it, analyzing it isn't going to do anything. Take my word for it. After 4 decades of studying and teaching A Course in Miracles, analyzing the Course in Miracles is not going to help you understand and reap the benefits of what it's offering. What you want to do is just simply do what it's asking you to do, which is really just, most cases, just asking you to say certain things to yourself over and over again. What will happen if you just do what you're told? Well, the Course says, now is the light of hope reborn in you. Why? Because now you come without defense. You're coming without insisting on your self-initiated plan. You're willing for 30 minutes a day to not operate from the premise of, if everybody else were different, then you'd have more peace and you'd have more joy and you'd have more fun. Because the Course in Miracles calls that your plan. Your plan is to come up with how everything and everybody needs to be different in some way, speak or act differently in some way, then you will feel peace. Then you will feel happy. That's what the Course calls our self-initiated plan. It covers it in detail, and I think it's lesson 71, which is only God's plan for salvation will work. It really talks about this plan, and actually the Course in Miracles calls it a grievance. That a grievance is basically, if this were different, I'd be happy. If you were different, I'd be happy. That's what any grievance is. If my father had been different, then I would be a much more well-adjusted, happy person today. If I hadn't grown up, if I had not grown up poor and in a black body, then I would be happy right now. If everybody in America changed their mind about people of color, then I would be happy right now. Though that's all me making, and I would definitely love to receive love from the world. But the truth is, my happiness doesn't have anything to do with anybody else and how anybody else feels about me. My happiness comes from me. It's coming from what I think and what I tell myself and what I allow myself to receive from spirit. That's where your happiness comes from. It's going to come from you, from within you. But the wrong plan is, no, my happiness is going to come from my girlfriend. And when my girlfriend is different, then I'm going to be happy. No, my happiness is going to come from new legislation that's passed. And when that new legislation is passed, then I'm going to be happy. The Course in Miracles is telling us that when you come without that defense, so that you can learn the part that God has given you within God's plan, that's coming without defense. Coming without defense is you saying, Spirit, I'm willing to learn what it is that you want me to do as part of the divine plan. I'm willing to receive the divine plan. And what little plans, which the Course calls magical beliefs, can still have value when you receive your function from the voice of God. What little plan that you have could still have value if you are receiving your guidance and your plan from the higher power. So what do? Well, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Well, the next paragraph tells you what to do. That's why you don't have to analyze it. The next paragraph says, try not to shape this day. Try not to shape. I love it. Our plans, the Course in Miracles calls our plans shaping, trying to shape the day, give the day a shape. So try not to shape this day how you believe would benefit you most. Try not to shape this day as you believe would benefit you the most. Because the truth is, what is it that you cannot conceive of? You cannot conceive of all the happiness that comes to you without your planning. You can't even imagine all the happiness that could come to you without your planning and using Spirit's planning. You can't even conceive of all the happiness that comes to you without your planning. So what are you supposed to be learning right now? You're supposed to be learning that you can have much more happiness through God's plans than your plans. And all the world will take this giant step with you. And so all the world will celebrate your rising, your rebirth, your resurrection with you. So what is it that you need to do? Well, throughout the day, what is it that you need to do throughout the day? Well, as foolish little things appear to raise defensiveness in you, and you become afraid, and you think you need to control everything and make everybody different, and come up with your plan, when you're tempted, throughout the day, when you're tempted to engage in weaving plans, your personal plan of how can I come up with what needs to be different outside myself in order to be happy, when you come up with making your plan because you're feeling afraid because of your lack of faith and lack of awareness of your connection to God, remind yourself, what is it that you're supposed to remind yourself of? Remind yourself that this is a special day for learning. I'm being tempted to weed my plans now. I'm being tempted to come up with my grievances and trying to shape everything and everybody the way I want them to be because I'm afraid. I think I need to control. I don't think God is there for me, so I've got to do it all on my own. Remind yourself that this is a special day for learning. And what do? You acknowledge that you acknowledge that you are aware that this is a special day for learning. You acknowledge that this is a special day for learning. And how do you acknowledge that this is a special day for learning? You say this prayer. So in this lesson 135, if I defend myself, I'm attacked, in the Course in Miracles workbook, there are only 2 little prayers that you're being asked to say. Whether you believe it or not, whether you accept it or not, whether you welcome it, even if you don't believe it, even if it startles you, it doesn't matter what your reaction is to what the Course in Miracles is teaching. It doesn't matter whether you're in a good mood, a bad mood, whether you accept it, whether you don't accept it. What matters is that you would be willing to follow the instructions that you're being given, because that would be you receiving the plan. See, right now, you are receiving the plan, right? Isn't that what's happening as we go through this? Aren't you receiving the plan? Okay, so what do? You say, this is my Easter time, and I would keep it holy. I will not defend myself, because the Son of God, which is the child of God, needs no defense against the truth of his reality. This is my Easter time. I would keep it innocent. Holy means innocent. Holy means love. Holy means loving. These are all Course in Miracles definitions of holy. So this is the same as saying, this is my resurrection. This is my rising. This is my reawakening. And I will keep it holy, which means I will keep it innocent. I will keep it loving. I will keep it free. I will keep it in the power of God. These are all Course in Miracles definitions of holy. I will not defend myself. What does that mean? I will not defend myself. It means I will not come up with my self-initiated plans. I will not come up with all of the ideas and thoughts that I can come up with to try to shape everything the way I want it and manipulate and make everybody else be different so that I'll feel safe and happy. I will not act like the universe is out to get me and there's always something that I have to be afraid of every second. I will not defend myself because I, as a child of spirit and a child of love, you don't need any defense against the truth. You don't need to defend yourself against what's real. You don't need to protect yourself from what is love and what is truth. So you need no defense against the truth of your reality. So I'm going to do a quick recap in just a minute to bring this home, this lesson. When you get a chance, read and study and apply this lesson. It's one of the most powerful lessons in the Course in Miracles workbook. Lesson 135, if I defend myself, I'm attacked. I'm a full-time teacher of A Course in Miracles. If you like to make a financial expression of appreciation, which I would be very grateful for, then you can use Venmo, the Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, or you could go to my website, www.earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com, earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. All you need is my email address. And my email address is earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. I'm available for one-on-one personal sessions called clarity sessions. Go to my website. It will give you all the details about my clarity sessions, and you can self-book an appointment with me right from my website. On Sundays at 1:00 p.m. Mountain Time on the Earl Purdy page on Facebook, I do another Course in Miracles Facebook Live presentation online, and you can also come and attend in person if you live in the Denver, Colorado area. Denver, Colorado, at 1555 Race Street. That's RACE. 1:00 p.m. Mountain Time at 1555 Race Street here in Denver, Colorado. And you can also still watch online. Also, on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, I do hardcore Course in Miracles, especially for Course in Miracles students, but it's open and I love anybody to watch. You could get some helpful information. That's Thursdays on the Earl Purdy page on Facebook, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. I also upload all of my classes to YouTube. So I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of classes on YouTube and also on Facebook and on my website. I'm just here to be truly helpful, and I'm trying to make what I do, I am making what I do available to people regardless of their financial situation. But I'm available for one-on-ones, and we can bring 40 years of working with people and A Course in Miracles into the situation that you are dealing with right now. All right, here we go. What else was it? Oh yeah, I'm also an astrologer and a numerologist that focuses on soul purpose, astrology, and numerology. So here we go. Let's focus on the two prayers for 5 minutes. And you might just want to close your eyes and listen, and you also might want to say it. Here we go. Let's go. Here we go. Let me do it for you. If I defend myself, I am attacked. But in defenselessness, I will be strong. In defenselessness, I will be strong. And I will learn what my defenses hide. If I defend myself, I am attacked. If I defend myself, I am attacked. If I defend myself, I am attacked. But in defenselessness, I will be strong, and I will learn what my defenses hide. If I defend myself, I am attacked. But in defenselessness, I will be strong, and I will learn what my defenses hide. So let me say it for you. If you defend yourself, you are attacked. But in defenselessness, you will be strong. In defenselessness, you will be strong. And in defenselessness, you will be strong. And you will learn what your defenses hide. 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 If you defend yourself, you are attacked. But in defenselessness, you will be strong. And you will learn what your defenses hide. Say it to yourself right now. If I defend myself, I am attacked. But in defenselessness, I will be strong. And I will learn what my defenses hide. Okay, let's do the other one. Remember, this is part of the plan that you're receiving. You're receiving this plan. This is the plan. Part of the plan is for you to say what the Course in Miracles is telling you to say, which is, this is my Easter time. This is my Easter time. And I would keep it holy. And I would keep it holy. You would keep what holy? Your Easter time, your resurrection, your reawakening, and your we awakening. See, we're having a we awakening. This is my Easter time, and I would keep it holy. I will not defend myself. I will not defend myself, because the Son of God, the child of God, needs no defense against the truth of his reality. The Course in Miracles uses masculine terminology, but it's talking about universal spiritual themes that has absolutely nothing to do with gender at all. This is my Easter time. So let me say it for you. Let me say it for you. And let yourself hear it. Let yourself hear it. This is your Easter time. This is your Easter time. This is your resurrection time. And you would keep it holy. You would keep it loving. You would keep your Easter time. You would keep your reawakening loving and healing, because holy means loving. Holy means healing. And you would keep your reawakening holy. You would keep it loving. Guess what? You will not defend yourself. You will not defend yourself. You will not keep coming up with your self-initiated plans out of fear. And you would be willing to receive. You would be willing to receive the plan from God, the plan from Spirit. You will not defend yourself because you need no defense against the truth of your reality. And your reality is love. Your reality is peace. Your reality is love. Your reality is peace. Your reality is love. Your reality is love. Your reality is love. Your reality is love. Listen to what I'm saying. This is your Easter time. This is your Easter time, and you would keep it holy. And you would keep it holy. You will not defend yourself. You will not defend yourself. You will not defend yourself. You will not defend yourself, because you need no defense. You need no defense against the truth of your reality. This is my Easter time, and I would keep it holy. I will not defend myself, because the Son of God needs no defense against the truth of his reality. The child of God The child of God needs no defense, no plan to manipulate everything and everybody on the outside. Has no need to be defended against the truth. There is no need for you to be afraid of the truth. There is no need for you to defend yourself against the truth. Stop acting like the truth of love and the truth of spirit is your enemy. This is your Easter time. This is your resurrection. This is your Easter time. This is your reawakening. Healed mind doesn't plan. A healed mind carries out a plan that it receives. And don't forget that the plan that you get from God, the plan that you receive from Spirit, you will be adequate to do it. There won't be obstacles that impede your progress. And it will be a plan that benefits everybody, including you. Mighty companion, listen to this and watch this at least 4 times. It's through repetition that you accept a new truth and change your mind. Don't forget that it's your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your beliefs that make your perception of reality and gives you the experience of your life that you have. It's not coming from something or somebody outside of you. You're not a victim of the world you see. You're not a victim of that relationship you're in. You're not a victim of the job that you're on. You're not a victim of anything that you're going through in the sense that it cannot be changed through you for the better. This is Earl Purdy. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me, mighty companion. Thank you for joining me. You are awesome. May the course be with you. Yeah.